Quality of a digital photo.
What makes a great digital picture? First of all, is photographer skill. You've got to know how to hold and point and capture the subject with the camera. That's number one. Number two, you need a lens quality. Lens quality is far more important than any other aspect in digital photography. And if you look, I can show you examples from 3 and 4 and 5 megapixel digital cameras with premium bitchin' quality lenses that blow the doors right off the 10 and 8 megapixel cameras with lower quality lenses. So look for lens quality. Number two, you do need megapixels to be able to make enlargements. But megapixels only gives you picture size. That's all it does. Chip size is also huge. The bigger the imaging chip in the camera, the better the prints are going to be. That's why the SLR cameras take much better pictures than the compacts, because the imaging chip on an SLR is a little bit larger than a postage stamp, while the imaging chip on your compact cameras is a little bit bigger than the nail on my pinky.
What is a lens?
A camera lens is probably the most important single part or component of the camera that you own. You know, most people think a lot of times about buying a camera and they decide a lot on which camera they, look at the features, and then they buy whatever lens is on sale. And I think that's a mistake, because the lens is clearly the most important part. It's the eyes to the camera. And if you think about yourself and how you react with the world with bad eyes versus good eyes, the lens is the eyes. The better the eyes, the better the picture you're going to take. Now, how does the lens work? It works just like our eyes do, is that there's a glass lens that focuses the light. And the better the lens focuses the light, the clearer the picture you have. And it focuses the light, of course, on the imaging chip in your digital camera. It would focus it on the film in a film camera.
How do I choose which lens is right for my digital camera?
You choose the lens for your digital camera depending on what kind of subjects you want to take. And generally, when you buy the lens with the camera, you're having to decide, do I want a small camera or a big camera? The small cameras have the 3x zoom, and that limits you as to what you can do. If you need a bigger zoom for faraway things like animals, wildlife, sporting events, shooting people across the street, then you need a bigger zoom, a 10x zoom or a 12x zoom, but that means the camera size is going to grow, and it makes a big difference. You have to make a fundamental choice in the size of the camera. This camera has a 3x zoom, a small zoom. Very small camera, great for going in your shirt pocket. This camera has a 16x zoom. Look at the difference in the size of the cameras. So you have to make that decision. Big zoom allows you to come way in close from far away. This camera goes in your pocket so you can carry it with you every day, but you're limited to the 3-power zoom.
What is resolution, and how does it affect digital photo image quality?
When you buy a digital camera, you have to choose the number of megapixels. And the megapixels is the size of the imaging chip. Some people call that the resolution. What you need to know about megapixels is this. To make a 4:6 size print of photo quality, you need 1 megapixel. To make a 5:7 print, you need 2 megapixels. To make an 8:10 print, you need 4 megapixels. And that will give you true photo quality. So when you're buying a digital camera, what you get when you buy more megapixels is the ability to make larger enlargements and the ability to crop the picture. It's just that simple. Once again, though, remember that lens quality is far more important to your overall picture quality than how many megapixels you have, as long as you're within the range of what you can do with your camera.
What is a digital camera's megapixel?
What's a megapixel? Mega means million. Pixel means picture element. So when you buy the megapixels on your digital camera, it's how many million picture elements or dots. If you take a look at the newspaper with a magnifying glass or go right up next to the TV, you'll see that the pictures are made up of individual little dots. Those are pixels. How many million pixels do you have? That's how many megapixels you have. If you have a 6 megapixel camera, what that means is the image is roughly 3,000 pixels wide and 2,000 pixels high. 3,000 times 2,000 is 6 million. That gives us 6 megapixel.
How many megapixels should my digital camera have?
Now, you need 4 megapixels to make an 8:10 print. Why? If I'm never going to make anything more than an 8:10, why do I want more than 4? Well, the reason is the last time I took a perfect picture was never. So if I have a 6 megapixel camera, that means I can crop my final image after I've taken it and throw away a third of it. If I have an 8 megapixel camera, I can throw away half of it and still have 4 megapixels that'll give me an 8x10 quality when I make my enlargement, when I make the print for the wall. If I have a 12 megapixel camera, I can throw away 2/3 of it. That's why you spend the money for more megapixels. It doesn't give you a clearer picture. It gives you more ability to crop and adjust the picture later on.
What is ISO speed, and how does it affect my digital camera's photos?
What is ISO speed on your digital camera? It's just like the ISO speed was on your film. ISO tells us what sensitivity or how much light is required to make the picture. Now on film, ISO, higher ISO, gave us a grainier, less clear picture. A lower ISO gave us better color and better clarity. The same happens in digital. As you turn down the ISO, you're going to get clearer, crisper, better colored pictures. As you turn up the ISO, it needs less light to take the picture, but we get digital noise. It looks like kind of snow on the TV set. You get these kind of colored artifacts, kind of freaky-deaky in the picture. That's what grain or noise is on your digital picture. My recommendation to you is always set the digital camera to the lowest or next to the lowest for general purpose photography. If you shoot inside without a flash, indoors, like a basketball game, hockey game, indoor play or something like that, then you need to boost the ISO. But one thing I need to tell you is before you do that, you have to test on your camera, because some cameras have a very low threshold for noise, or the picture quality gets pretty bad pretty quickly. So you have to test with your individual cameras. You need to also know that the smaller cameras, the compacts, give more noise than the SLRs do. And that goes back again to the size of the imaging chip. With the small imaging chip, we get more noise or more grain. With the SLRs and the bigger imaging chip, we get less noise, and therefore we're able to boost the ISO higher and give you more low light capability.
What ISO speed range should my digital camera have?
In general, for normal photography, you need ISO range between 200 and 800 for general purpose photography. 200 for bright sunshine, outdoors, normal things. 400 for mixed light, low light family pictures. 800 for the occasional show or play or kids performance, something like that. You need higher ISOs for more specific low light kind of photography. If you're doing a lot of that kind of thing, you have kids in drama, playing indoor sports, you may want something that goes to 1600 or 3200. If you're doing a lot of high quality, high colored landscape, tripod type photography, you may want a camera that goes down into the 50 to 100 range. But those are more specific. So in general, 200 to 800 is where you need to focus. And all the digital cameras today have that.
Can a digital still camera capture high-quality video?
Most of your compact digital cameras today, still cameras, have a movie mode that's really cool for taking the occasional movie. Once again, just like the movie cameras don't do as well for still, the still cameras do great still pictures, and they do okay movies. Not your general purpose movie camera, but for an occasional, the first steps or something happening that you weren't expecting, it's great to have the movies with the compact still camera.
Can a cell phone capture high-quality stills?
Whenever I go anyplace, I see all kinds of people taking pictures with their cell phone. And I just really question the quality of the pictures they're going to get. Because even though the cell phones today have 3 or 4 or 5 megapixels, the quality of the lens and the size of the imaging chip is minuscule. I know it's very tempting and sexy to think that your cell phone can be everything to you, whether it's still or movie. Look at the movies you get off the cell phone. Have you ever printed a picture from a cell phone? Look at how low the quality is. And I personally want more from my camera than what I'm going to get from a cell phone.
Can a video camcorder capture high-quality digital stills?
Today's digital video cameras, more often than not, have a still capability. And that's really cool for capturing an occasional still picture. The movie cameras don't take as good of pictures as the still cameras for a couple reasons. Number one, the lens quality. The lens quality on the movie cameras is not as good as the lens quality on the still cameras. Number two, the imaging chip is still even smaller, and they're designed to do moving pictures. Moving pictures, the human eye does not need to see resolution. The human eye builds in the resolution for you. Where with a still camera, we get in there and look for the fine details. So you need more detail on a still camera than you do on a movie camera. Maybe one day they'll be able to combine them both so that you get both in one, but not yet. We're not there yet.